While they're probably not going to sign a five-star defensive back in the 2026 class, I think if Georgia keeps this up on the recruiting trail, they should still have one of the best defensive back classes across the country in the 2026 class. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. They're loading up on safeties. They just signed another top 100 cornerback a few days ago. There's a lot to talk about, so let's dive right into it. Now, the first guy I want to talk about is Georgia's newest commitment that they signed or landed, I believe, on Saturday, and that's Kaden Harris. That's a guy that is a four-star cornerback, 6 foot, 175, small town kid from right outside of Memphis, but this kid's a big deal, and his flip from Vanderbilt to Georgia is something that none of y'all are surprised by. I think I said on multiple videos, hey, this guy is one to keep an eye on. He was at Georgia last weekend for an official visit. So not this weekend, the previous weekend. And I told y'all then, I said there is a really, really good chance that this guy is not going to stick with his commitment to Vanderbilt. Georgia offered him June of last year. They've been recruiting him for a while. And when he committed to Vanderbilt in late April, I think the Georgia staff said, wait, what's going on here? We like you, man. Let's get you on campus. Let's show you how we can develop you, show you that you can be the best player you can be in Athens, Georgia. A few days after his official visit, he said, you know what? They're right. I'm heading to Georgia. So Kaden Harris, the number 12 cornerback prospect in the country, number 83 overall, flipped from Vanderbilt to Georgia. And that's not a surprise to anyone on Dawg Post. And it's not a surprise to anyone who has been following my work and has been on this channel. So could be big news to some people, but it's news that y'all expected. Only picked off one pass last year, but it's because no one threw his way. He was consistently one of the best athletes on the field at all times last year as a junior. As a wide receiver, he caught 37 passes for 782 yards and 11 touchdowns. Okay, so this guy was a big play machine with the ball in his hands. He excelled in the return game on special teams. But, he showed some physicality on defense as well. He made 30 tackles and broke up 7 passes in coverage. He only picked one off, took it back to the house for a pick 6. But when the ball came his way defensively, he was knocking it away. He was forcing incomplete passes. And on offense, he was making play after play at wide receiver. So again, top 100 player in the country. Big deal that happened on Saturday morning, I believe. Kaden Harris flipped from Vanderbilt to Georgia. They also have Justice Fitzpatrick on the commit list as well. He committed last week. And of course, he is the younger brother of Micah Fitzpatrick, plays down in South Florida. Big kid, 6'1", 195. He's the number 7 cornerback prospect, number 64 overall. Made 34 tackles, 2 interceptions, broke up 7 more passes. So again, quarterbacks aren't throwing his way. Just like Kaden Harris, they're staying away from Justice Fitzpatrick last year. But when the ball did come his way, he's knocking it down. He's picking it off. He showed good, the ability to make plays against the run. That's what I'm trying to say. He gets off blocks. He attacks. He can make a big tackle in the open field. Now, the numbers and the tape, they aren't jaw-dropping, but when you look at his size, his potential, the instincts that he has, and the ability to, again, make a big, strong tackle, not in the open field, but in the backfield. This guy can do that. And this is someone that Georgia's been recruiting for a long time. I thought that they had some catching up to do, but when he took his official visit to Georgia, I believe that was June 6th weekend, they won him over, and they got him on the commit list. I think he thought about looking at other programs, taking a couple other visits, and Georgia got in his ear. They said, no, dude, you're committed. You're 100% committed, right? Like, you just committed. Why are you taking other visits? He said, you know what? You're right. Shut everything down. So they've got 2 cornerbacks on the commit list right now that are 2 of the very best in the country, and they're looking to add more. But those are the only 2 that they have on board right now at the cornerback position. A couple other guys to keep an eye on. Chauncey Kennan, he's the number 5 cornerback prospect, number 64 overall, 46 overall, excuse me. I think he might stay in state, probably Florida State there. CJ Hester is a guy who is, could be on campus still right now. He took his official visit to Georgia this weekend. That's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. I think Florida was the team trending in his recruitment. He's out of Cocoa, Florida, Cocoa High School. I think I said that right, but another kid with size and length, 6'1", 175, made 72 tackles last year, picked off 4 passes. He's a 4-star cornerback to keep an eye on as well. I do think Georgia wants to take one more cornerback because they got 3 safeties. They want to add another cornerback, maybe two. They want to load up on defensive backs. We saw that in the 25 cycle. Looks like they could possibly do that again. But they've got two of the best in the country, two top 100 cornerbacks on the commit list already. And we'll see if they can grab some momentum with other guys. Terrius Favors is an underrated cornerback, in my opinion. He's a do-it-all three-way player out of Carver High School who picked off 6 passes last year. So he's a ball hawk. Really good wide receiver, return man, and of course, if you pick off 6 passes, you know what you're doing in the secondary. He's committed to Boise State. If he gets the green light to jump on board, I can definitely see that happening if he gets the green light. So definitely got to keep an eye on. At safety, let's go over who they have on the commit list already. In case you forgot, Jordan Smith, 6'2", 195. Just intimidating presence at safety. He's out of Houston County, Warner Robins. He's the number 6 safety prospect, number 75 overall. Again, a top 100 defensive back is already on the commit list. 85 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 interceptions. He broke up 7 more passes. So he's a guy is really versatile. He can line up against tight ends. He can cover a lot of ground down the field. He can play in the box, make a play, big tackle behind the line of scrimmage. He's got size, again, instincts, leadership. The guy knows what he's doing. He's all business, and he certainly looks the part. And you turn on the film, he just has a nose for the football, right? Sometimes you can't teach those type of instincts where he takes great angles to the ball carrier, but against the pass, he closes quickly and can make plays vertically down the field. So there's a lot to like about his game. And again, he's a top 75 player in the country. Wouldn't surprise me if he turns into a Georgia captain down the road. And you could say the same for Zachariah Ford too. He's not as big. He's just 5'10", 175, but the dude knows how to hit. I mean, he brings the boom, right? And he brings the boom, right? Those videos I think are long gone, but they always crack me up on the interwebs. Those Costco guys. Those whatever. Zachariah Ford, though. Let's get back on track, Matt. Let's get back on track. Number 12 safety in the country. Number 138 overall. He's another guy. Shut down his recruitment. He is all Georgia. He was in town this past weekend helping to recruit during his official visit. And he can cover too, right? He's a good zone coverage safety, but he's looking to knock your head off at running back. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. He hits behind his pads, but he's another guy who brings an intimidating presence. He's a captain for IMG Academy. That's just loaded with talent. Was really good as a sophomore, really good as a junior. He just consistently finds his way to the ball. And another guy with instincts, just a football guy. He brings that mentality, that toughness to the safety position. Easy 4-star, one of Georgia's earliest commitments in this class. He can't wait to be a Bulldog. And again, just a 4-star safety who is a top 150 prospect in the country. He's ranked number 138. Respectable. Then you've got Keelan Jones out of Sprayberry, a guy that I spoke with not too long ago, probably 3-4 weeks ago. He made 42 tackles for Sprayberry, 4 interceptions. Another guy who doesn't talk a whole lot. He lets his talking, speak for itself on the field. Georgia offered him in January. His recruitment blew up. Went to a couple spring practices and said, this is where I want to be. I love the intensity of practice. I love the physicality that this program has. I'm a physical guy. I love to hit. I love to, make plays and run support. But he's also a guy who continues to step his game up in coverage. That's what he's working on. The footwork, the ability to make plays in coverage in different schemes and different parts of the field, nickel, safety, cornerback. He can do it all at the high school level, but he is a versatile weapon that, Georgia has on board, again, in this 26 class. Just a 3-star guy, but wouldn't surprise me if his ranking increases over time. So they've got 3 safeties on board. Do they take another? That's a big question that I have in this class. Tyreek Boogie Green is a kid that was on campus for an official visit this weekend. He plays out of Buford. Another guy who picked off, I think, 5 passes in coverage. Not the biggest guy, but he brings a muscular frame. He's fast. I believe he's on that track team that I think won a state title for Buford. The kid can run. The kid can hit. He's a really good athlete. Runs the ball for Buford. Turns around and plays safety for him. Plays special teams for him. I mean, just a football player. Just a real football guy who loves the game and can make plays all over the field. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. And Chase Calicut, too, is a guy who was on campus for an official visit 2 weekends ago at a North Shore High School in Texas. I think the Longhorns could be tough to beat, but I heard behind the scenes Georgia absolutely made a run with him and really shot up his recruitment. It could come down to Texas and Georgia. I think he's going to make a commitment later this month, so definitely one to keep an eye on. We'll see if Georgia can continue to stay towards the top of his recruitment, but he's I think a top 10 safety in the country as well. So again, several guys in the top 100, a lot of promise, a lot of tough, physical, run-stopping safeties, guys at cornerback with length who can run too. It's turning out to be a really, really solid defensive back class. Again, they may not bring in or sign a 5-star in the secondary, but there's a lot of guys who can play, a lot of tough kids, a lot of kids who are excited to be Georgia Bulldogs. And I think if you're a Georgia fan, that's one of the biggest factors that you want out of a recruit coming into the program, is guys who want to play for that G on their helmet. So it could be a really good class, probably going to be one of the best defensive back classes in the country for the 2026 class. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you over on Dawg Post.